From Boston, welcome to Off the Bench.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Off the Bench. I'm Beck McMahon, joined by Hannah Hill and Cameron Manning. In 2017, the New England Patriots quarterbacks room consisted of Tom Brady, Jacoby Brissett, and Jimmy Garappolo. 2 years later, all three are NFL starters, combining for a record of 12-2. Guys, who was the best quarterback of the three?
It's no question, Tom Brady, all the way. I don't even know why this is even a question to begin with, because Jacoby Brissett and Jimmy Garappolo are good quarterbacks. Don't get me wrong. Could be starters in the NFL, but I think if it wasn't for Andrew Luck's sudden retirement earlier on in the preseason, Jacoby Brissett would have another stint of being a backup this season, because that's what he is in my mind. I think he's a decent starter, but I think he's more suited in a backup role, and he doesn't throw the ball like the main reason Indianapolis won against the Chiefs was because Marlon Mack destroyed them on the run game. So I think Jacoby Brissett didn't shred them through the pass. He does short passes like Blake Bortles did in the AFC Championship game against New England, and that's how Blake Bortles had success in Jacksonville in his brief stint. He threw short passes. Jacoby Brissett's only thrown 3 passes for 20-plus yards this year, whereas Brady's thrown multiple, like 9 or 10, somewhere up there with Patrick Mahomes on that subject, but I think it's Brady all the way.
I'm going to have to agree with you. Tom Brady has brought the Patriots to the Super Bowl 9 times since 2002, and he's helped them win 6, so I definitely will have to agree with you on that. And I think another reason why Tom Brady is the better quarterback is because he makes the players who play with him better, and it really shows on the field because those players would go through a wall for him. So I think it really shows. Yeah,
absolutely. I agree with you, but I'm just saying that Nick Wright and Chris Carter this morning were saying how the offensive line is shoddy and how, like, the receivers aren't as explosive as they used to be. So doesn't that enhance Brady's case then? Because if he doesn't have explosive playmakers anymore on offense, then he's making them better. Like, to your point, like, he's making them better. So that's what great players do, and they take care of weak competition, which Brady has. I'm not saying that he's dismantled like the early 2000s Patriots defenses like that are like dominant with like future Hall of Famers on them. They're playing the Dolphins, the Jets, the Redskins, who are not good teams. But that's what the great ones do. They take care of business. They don't look down on anyone at the NFL level. They're an NFL franchise, and they have to play 60 minutes of football. And they've done that through 5 games. And that's why I believe Tom Brady is the better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett.
Even though I do believe that Tom Brady is the better quarterback, I do think that if Jimmy G would have stayed with the Patriots and kind of stayed under as the alternative quarterback for Tom Brady, I think that maybe in the future he could be not as good as him, but definitely a really good quarterback.
Yeah, see, I don't know about that, because basically what you're saying is that Jimmy G, who's a rookie and kind of showcased his talents when Brady was serving that 4-game suspension, he showed flashes of starting potential, and that lit a fire under Brady's butt. He's like saying, I got to get my butt in gear. I got to show them that I'm not falling off, and he had one of the best seasons in his NFL career. So I'm just saying that Brady doesn't like to be tested competitively for that starting job. That's why it makes him so great. He pushes himself more when he feels like he's getting threatened for that starting job. So I think that Garappolo, if he stayed there, would be a different narrative for him, because like you think that in San Francisco, you wonder if he like would have tore his ACL if he stood. Like there's a bunch of things in the timeline that you would have to question if Garappolo stayed in New England, and a bunch of things could have changed. I mean, the 49ers probably wouldn't be where they're at right now if they didn't have that franchise quarterback and Jimmy G under their belt, which I do think he is a franchise quarterback. I'm just saying that at this moment right now, 7 touchdowns and 4 interceptions is not better than what Tom Brady has produced so far this season.
Great point, Kim. Staying in the NFL, what is going on with Baker Mayfield? The former first overall pick struggled on Monday against the 49ers. The Browns signal caller went 8-22 for only 100 yards and 2 interceptions. Is he a bust?
I'm going to have to stop you right there. I'm going to have to pump the brakes a little bit. I'm not putting him in the bust category yet. I mean, we are talking about a second-year player who's coming off a phenomenal rookie season in which he threw 27 touchdowns in a mere 14 interceptions, which I think is a lot for a rookie, but 27 touchdowns to 14 interceptions is not a bad TD to interception ratio. However, he has not looked good at all at the start of the season. I mean, that opening game versus Tennessee looked awful, and they lost that game in an unexpected fashion. I thought since they had acquired Odell in the offseason that they would be so much more successful on offense. Like, they have weapons now. They have Landry. They have Odell. They have David Njoku, who's a underrated tight end in my opinion. They have the weapons, so you cannot blame the lack of weapons for Baker Mayfield's demise right now. It's on him, and he needs to step it up, or else he will be in that conversation, I think. But it's too early to tell for me.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that again. I think he's a great player. I do feel that he is maybe still adjusting to life as a starting NFL quarterback. And what I've realized is that he's really comfortable being outside of the pocket and that he has to trust his offensive lines more.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, but you also have to factor in his size into account because he is not one of the taller quarterbacks in the league. He's up there with Kyler Murray in terms of height. So I'm trying to picture some of the taller quarterbacks having easier to see over the O-line and to visualize the field as a whole, like the taller quarterbacks do. But like Baker Mayfield's kind of undersized for his position, but the talent's there. I mean, you were saying earlier, like, you've seen him at Oklahoma. He was phenomenal, and he is a great player. I think he will be a great player, but he has to turn the ship, and he has to turn the ship now if they want to be anywhere near as to what they were supposed to be labeled as at the preseason, which is a postseason contender, the Cleveland Browns.
I agree with you on that. Like, he has the smarts, but I just think he needs to have more faith in the system that they're currently running. Right,
exactly. And first-year coach Freddie Kitchens, I think, is doing a subpar job with Baker Mayfield. I mean, he's a new coach, and you're still getting the reins loose on this guy. I mean, he's got flair. He's got flair for the dramatics. He's got passion. He's got heart. You can definitely tell that between his post-game comments and just all of his antics that he's pulled on social media and the post-game interviews. But I think this kid's got swagger, and I think he will stand out in the NFL. Like, we have to see weeks to come.
Moving on to baseball, the Dodgers and Nationals face off in a winner-take-all Game 5 tonight for the right to advance to the NLCS. Dave Roberts called Walker Buehler to start off the Dodgers instead of Clayton Kershaw. Are the Dodgers making a mistake?
See, I think so. I really do think they're making a mistake by starting Walker Buehler. Yes, he was dynamite Game 1, just throwing 6 shutout innings of one-hit baseball against a top Nationals lineup that has improved even after the absence of Bryce Harper. They still have Juan Soto. They still have Anthony Rendon. They still have Ryan Zimmerman, who's still a good player. I just think that Clayton Kershaw's postseason experience really ties into this, and I really think that Clayton Kershaw should have taken the ball over Walker Buehler in this one. I'm questioning Dave Roberts' decision. We'll see if it pans out tonight, though.
I'm going to have to disagree with you because I don't think they made the wrong decision. Buehler was an absolute game changer during the elimination and must-win games during the postseason last year, so I don't think they made the wrong decision, and I really think that they're going to win the game for Game 5 tonight.
I know, I get what you're saying. Walker Buehler's stuff is phenomenal. High-velocity fastball, great changeup. This guy's got a knack for the dramatics. Like you said, he's got flair, just like Baker Mayfield. He's like the Baker Mayfield of MLB. He's got flair. He's got emotion. He shows it. He wears his heart on his sleeve. I just think that Clayton Kershaw's pedigree and Clayton Kershaw's experience really would come out in these big games. And he's pitched in a lot of big spots in his career. Despite the fact that he's had a little bit of a wibbly-wobbly postseason in his career, I think they should have handed the ball off to him because I still think that curveball's deadly. That curveball still makes batters look silly. And I think that curveball combined with his off-speed stuff and the ability to produce ground balls, he's turned into a different pitcher since his fastball velocity's gone down, but I still think he would be able to get what the Dodgers needed in order to win tonight, but we'll see how it goes.
With Walker Buehler starting, who do you have coming out on top for Game 5?
It's a tough question because Steven Strasburg was amazing and quintessential in that wild card win versus Milwaukee, and he pitched incredible, and he's pitched consistently all season this year, which hasn't been a statement made in his career yet. I mean, Steven Strasburg, number 1 overall pick, 2009, he's had ups and downs in his career with injuries and inconsistencies with starting in big games. And the Nationals' postseason history has been very few, but Steven Strasburg looks good. And I think that I'm going to have to go with the Nationals upsetting the Dodgers tonight, which I really think the Dodgers are heavy World Series favorites, but I'm going to have to go with the Nats in 5.
Great stuff, Cam. Hannah, who do you have coming out on top for Game 5?
I'm going to have to say the Dodgers. I think that Game 5 is going to be a really good one, especially with Buehler coming in.
All right, Dodgers Nationals tonight. We'll see which one of you is right. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching Off the Bench. For Hannah Hill and Cameron Manning, I'm Beck McMahon, and we'll see you next week.